Are we alive?
We alive? I'm alive.
Are we live?
We're live.
Oh my God.
Peter, welcome back.
Thank you.
Hey,
From the
welcome,
wedding,
Pete.
honeymoon. Why don't we
Welcome.
cheers?
Oh, let's go.
Man,
Peter, people have missed you.
Let's start where we finish. Drinking. I was drinking like a dog.
dog drinks?
I don't know. Can you say that? I was
Yeah, you can
like
drink.
a
You
dog.
can say that. At the wedding.
Oh my God.
Because Peter, you got married on New Year's Eve.
Wow, Pete, looking good. Look at that. Look at
Thank
you.
you. Thank
You're
you.
married, man.
That's it.
Beautiful,
Okay.
shiny.
How's married life?
It's good. We're really good. We had a nice honeymoon. We were in the Caribbean. We
Where
got to
exactly?
went to Antigua. So it was nice, beautiful,
Relax.
relaxing beach, summer. And then we got back to the
How
coast.
was the weather? No rain, nothing. Mind a little storm here and
Thankfully,
there.
no, I mean it's a Caribbean, so like a little tropical rain, but for 5-10 minutes, and then it was done.
Nice. How long?
What do you remember from the
10
wedding?
days, Pete? 10 days?
5 days.
5 days.
At work.
What do you remember from the wedding?
I remember.
What do you remember
everything. I
about
didn't drink
Peter?
anything.
Sorry, not Peter. Anto at the wedding.
No, I remember that he was dancing. He had his family there. He was having. It looked like he was having a good time. No.
Well, I think you're wrong about that. I was
No?
having excellent time.
Oh, excellent. Sorry.
He was in his element.
Marco also was having a great time.
A lot of martini, a lot of apple martinis.
I think he was going for the Negroni. I kept on saying
Negroni.
Negroni.
He did.
Dude.
No. I was apple martinis at the beginning when you walk in. I had two, one after the other.
Nice.
And then I was a peach martini. It was apple and peach, I think. I got
on.
2 apple martini, one
Gotta
peach
go for a
martini.
better drink than that.
And then I went to mojitos. And then after the 2 mojitos, I think I had 2 extra drinks. One was one of the drink that was red inside with some vodka and cranberry that my wife she couldn't finish. So I downed it because I didn't want the drink to get wasted.
That's right.
And then I was trying to get myself hydrated again with a lot of San Pellegrino.
See, I did the opposite. I didn't drink a lot, and then it was about to be midnight. It was like an hour from midnight, and everybody else was, having a good time. And I was like, "Oh man, I have to catch up." So then I hit the bar with the Negronis.
This
and,
guy
and
here.
it was
He was
not
totally
great.
done. I heard news about this guy. Almost didn't make it back home.
But I did make it back. I made it back. And you apparently only had 2 drinks.
I only had
that
2
doesn't sound
drinks.
like you
Oh
at
my
all.
God.
Because I was supposed to be sober for the wedding. So.
Oh yeah. Who
gotta
said
make
so?
sure.
He's supposed to be sober.
He's got rules now.
You have rules.
I never. No, look at me. No rules, man.
He doesn't even have a wedding ring
No,
on.
I don't have a wedding ring because I broke my wrist over here and my hand did swallow. A lot.
Swallow.
Swelled, whatever.
But you can't get a different ring that fits?
No, I couldn't get it out. Actually, they almost there. It's either cutting my finger or cutting the thing. The
ring.
So with some soap or whatever solution they put on, they were able to get it out because it was painful. And otherwise, I will have a black and blue.
Permanently.
Yeah.
Anyway, one other thing before we get to topics. You also, I was very proud of you because you had it was a big January for you besides the wedding.
Yes, it was.
Your player, Diego Luna, started for the U.S. men's national team against
Get
Slovenia.
out.
Yes.
Get out.
And you were there in
Congratulations,
Texas.
We were there, went to Texas. We were with his family, his son, first game that he went to watch his father play.
Man.
I was happy for Pete. That was
Was
good.
it 3 months, 4 months? So it was nice. It was a good celebration. It was a good year for him. How he closed it, and it was a just reward. So
For people that
good things
don't know,
looking-
that haven't watched MLS, I watch only when he plays and when he starts. We try to tune in to support you. What player is he like? What player is he similar to? That the fans can understand. Because maybe one day, I'm not saying we will. You obviously can't say it, but maybe one day we'll see him in Serie A.
No,
or
maybe
in
one
Europe.
day he's going to be sitting next to us and he's going to explain.
Well,
what
that's
kind
not that much of a step up. I'm saying he's going to step up and go to play in Europe one day.
Yeah, maybe for AC Milan because all the Americans they are actually courted by Cardinale because he wants to bring most of the best Americans to play.
What
for
can
AC
you tell
Milan.
us?
No, I mean, listen. For an American player, he's very. He's got that South American flair. Very smart on the ball, super technical. He's strong as an ox, and his looks can be deceiving, but he's deceptively quick. So he knows how to take his man on, and he's very smart in the way that he plays. So, we're just gonna be happy with where he's at right now, obviously, on a big stage. He's got the first game in MLS versus Inter Miami.
Oh, wow.
So he'll be in Miami.
He's going to
for
be
that first
facing
game.
Messi.
So,
He's gonna
Yo,
mess
can
around.
we meet Messi?
Yeah,
Can we find a way to meet Messi?
We'll try to get down.
I'm trying to get
the
anybody
field.
to make us meet Messi.
We want to meet Messi?
I want to get a shirt
Oh,
signed.
you know
yeah.
Messi?
Of course.
Yeah.
We talked to Yolanda, and Yolanda, she's going to get us
That's another
Messi.
round. Let's
Hey,
get
Yolanda, if you're looking into a podcast, we need to meet Messi. You are the big shot.
So what? You
in
using
between
Yolanda to get to
Messi and us. Well, Yolanda, she's a great person.
We have this
one.
guy right next to us that his player is going to play against Inter Miami.
Yeah, but Yolanda's got better connection, I think, at the highest level. So Yolanda through Beckham and other big guns, she
The
can
issue
get
is
us through
getting
Messi.
through the security guard.
He looks like you.
He looks like me.
He does?
He's your doppelganger.
All right.
You never seen this? Nah, he
No.
doesn't see it on social media.
No.
Today we don't have my dad. My dad texted in the group chat. Oh yeah, I can't make it. I'm going to be with Materazzi today.
Sorry
not
to hear
bad,
that.
So
huh?
too good for us.
Just left us in the
On the
dust.
dust.
Mike unfortunately has family problems, family things, so he's not going to be able to make it with us. But next podcast, hopefully we'll have them all. It's been a little while since we've had us three together. The league has been very interesting. I know you guys are probably going crazy about Inter Fiorentina. No penalties being scored this round. 5 penalties were missed. It's the first time in 62 years that we've had 5 penalties missed this round in Serie A. Wild experience.
No, it's very painful for us. But you know what? Given the fact that we didn't score on 2 penalties, the AC Milan against Bologna, I mean, Bologna is a very tricky team. Okay, number 1. Number 2, I mean, you respect Giroud and Theo Hernandez, the 2 French players that the week before they put us over the top. Actually, the 3 players, the 3 musketeers was Adli, Giroud, and Theo Hernandez. They put 3 goals for our total, but Giroud and Theo Hernandez, they couldn't get it done against Bologna. But it was a good game. I'm not going to blame anybody.
They outplayed you.
Huh?
Bologna outplayed you.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
No, they did not. I
They
mean,
played great.
We
At
missed,
the San Siro?
We missed a bunch of opportunity besides the goal, the
Zirkzee.
penalties.
For me, Bologna played amazing. I mean, it's
But
not
nothing
a
to
surprise.
take away. Yeah, it's not to get
I
offended.
think
You
it's
shouldn't
a
get
good-
offended about that. They
He
played
looks
a great
offended.
versus Inter, Juventus.
Yeah,
They played.
He
absolutely.
looks very
really well.
offended by that.
Who was offended?
You look offended.
You look offended.
No, I'm not
You
offended.
can say that
Can
Bologna
you say
played
that
better.
Bologna played better?
Not really. Not really. But,
I would throw the bag at Thiago Motta if I was you. After doing that at the San Siro,
Listen, I'm not going to say anything because Thiago Motta is probably in the radar of AC Milan
That's what
for
you
a
just said.
future.
He
I
should
would
be.
throw the bag.
For a
You know what that
future,
means?
I know, all right.
give him
What does that
anything he
mean?
wants.
Throw the bag, meaning take the bag and then we're going to pull you in. Right?
I don't think so.
I don't know, whatever. I'm
His
an
finger's
ES
still swallowed.
I am an ESL. I'm an English for a second language, so I'm trying. I'm still on.
It's also slang, so-
Slang. I'm trying to learn.
It means give him any money that he wants. Throw the whole bag of money at him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You like
That's
that,
good
right?
to know. You throw the bag.
Yeah, every time for the people at home, I don't remember what the last term that. Oh, I know what it was. We taught him pushing daisies. What pushing daisy means,
Oh,
and now
I
he
love
says it all the
that.
time.
I love that.
He loves these little English
Pushing
sayings.
daisies.
So would you throw the bag at Thiago Motta?
I would. I will throw actually a big bag. You know.
What are you saying, the clause?
Yeah, we are. We got money. We're Americans.
Where?
We are Americans. We got a lot of money. Okay, and we don't steal money. We make them.
Yeah, you know who I was so impressed with? It's again not a surprise, but Zirkzee was crazy good. I know the one that he missed, but it's like all the little touches that he does. It opens up space for everyone. He's not really a number 9, so he's super tricky, super technical. I was watching him, and for me, I don't want to get too carried away, but it felt like watching like a superstar in the making. That's how good I thought Zirkzee was. He has been all season. He's been amazing. It's been his breakout year. But what a star he is for Bologna. Him and Ferguson and Calafiori were the 3 that when I watch them, I say these guys are going to go on to do big things.
I think the reasons why it's not a pure number 9 that is making is deceiving a lot of people on his actually in his position, on his move and all the stuff, because you don't expect like una mezzala to go and have all that range. The guys is from 3/4 of his box all the way to the deep inside of the AC Milan box. It's all over the places. Number 1 and number 2 is effortless. I mean, the guy, he never panics with the ball. He never panics with the defenders right next to him. He just is a natural. You can tell.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of big teams in Europe and Italy, they are courting him to join the squad.
Yeah,
so.
he matured a lot, and I think even you see his technical ability to be able to, like you said, the composure on the ball, to be able to just sit defenders down and find the spot. And even, he missed goals, yes, but he put himself in the opportunity to score. And then the goal he scored, against Magnan to find, through, could be a little bit of luck, but still the nonchalantness of how he scored that goal shows, what he's been able to do this year. And like you said, there's no surprise that there's teams interested.
I will hope that Pete, we get him. You know why? Because I have a feeling that AC Milan has got three former Dutch players that especially Van Basten, that is still within the AC Milan radar, close radar when it comes down to if you want to do if you want to make a phone call, or if you want to just try to convince somebody, I think we might have a chance, because Napoli apparently has got most of the money, because Osimhen, I think, is 99% gone, because he already declared it publicly, and I think ADL,
which was a shame.
ADL,
I really didn't like what's happening with this Osimhen situation.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
for Napoli
ADL is
fans,
gonna monetize,
everything,
Marco.
but everything's already been so down in the dumps for Napoli. You know, you went from winning a Scudetto to now you're number one playing a completely different brand of football. It's the complete opposite of what you love. Defensively first. I know they were missing a lot of players against Lazio. But then you have Osimhen, who comes out and he said it to CBS, to the Morning Footy crew, which was good for them to be able to get the scoop. But he says, "I know what my future is," and it doesn't sound like it's going to be to stay at Napoli. He knows that he wants to leave.
To you, this was in the making.
But why say it? Why do you come out and say it in the middle of a season that's not going well? Is my only thing.
Everybody knows. What do you think De Laurentiis just forced him to sign the new contract?
No, I know there's definitely problems. I'm not saying that he's at fault for it, because things that happened behind the scenes with Osimhen have not been acceptable either. You know, all the problems that they had with the videos on social media, and De Laurentiis has proven that he's not an easy person to work with. So if he wants to leave at the end of the season, it's fine. I just wonder if this hurts them in the negotiation stage, because for Napoli as a whole, they need... Have we ever seen a team go from the best team, one of the best teams in Europe, playing the best style, to now looking at this after losing two important pieces? But where does Napoli go from here? I don't
listen. Is gifting Zielinski to Inter. I mean, Inter's got the best midfield of the world, none of Europe. Inter, between Frattesi, Mkhitaryan, Barella, I mean, you name it, Çalhanoğlu. They have. I'm already made 4, but Sensi now. I think it's Aslan. They have 5 or 6 of the best midfielder in Europe and maybe in the world, and then now they're going to be adding Zielinski on the list.
He's going for a free transfer.
That's what I'm saying. Do they need the extra midfielder like
Mkhitaryan
Zielinski?
also is 35 years old. So those are the things that you
Mkhitaryan
evaluate.
is not even a bench guy. Mkhitaryan starts every game, and
that's what a good team does. They prepare for the next year. They prepare.
So we'll get into Inter. Let's focus on Napoli.
No, Napoli. Listen, and it's similar to what happened with Inter with Conte, where it's sad that Napoli win a Scudetto with Spalletti playing this enjoyable football, enjoyable to watch, but also you saw the players and how they were, and they were a unit, they were a family. Last year.
When was the last time an Italian team got that sort of praise from like mainstream media? I heard every single player, like great player pundit in the world, talking about Napoli. Sorry, just to add on.
It was a joy to watch, and they did it in Champions League too. It wasn't like they did it. They had one bad legs versus Milan. After that, they were perfect.
If that game came at a different time, I mean, timing is everything in football, so it's not a complaint. But I'm just saying, if Napoli and Milan played that game a few months before, it could have been a completely different result for the football that they were playing. Not to take anything away from Milan, but just to add on that this Napoli could have done even better things.
No, for sure. And I think, could it be, I think it's a mix of everything, really. With Spalletti, it was a matter that he wanted to get paid a little bit more, but he also realized that what he did in Napoli after 33 years
could not be duplicated.
Very hard to do it again the next year. And then especially when your president comes on, and I think he did it on CBS also, talking about Scoop, but he said he wanted to win the Champions League the next year. Already your expectations are way too high unless you're ready to put down some money, some cash to go and build onto this team.
Which is weird with the moves, some of the moves that they made. Like, for example, in defense, Dragoshin, for me, was like a layup. I get that you're competing with Tottenham, you're competing with the Premier League money. Napoli's, for credit to De Laurentiis, he built one of the healthiest teams. I think they actually are the healthiest team in Italy.
They are.
Budget-wise, right? They have done extremely well at making $1 into 4 quarters. They sell players for low. They buy them for low. They sell them for high, and they've done extremely well at that. But I expected him, when he realized the result, to do more in the transfer market to try to save the season, because if they don't finish in 4th place this year, it is going to become a nightmare. And I think they were really happy. It's what's so crazy is it's the flip. Lazio were probably more upset that they didn't get 3 points against Napoli, which seems crazy to think. And Napoli were happy with 1 point. The whole game, by the way, was one of the worst games I've seen in Serie A.
Boring.
Maybe ever. There was a whole lot of nothing.
It was an horror story.
And it wasn't just a 0-0 where there were good chances, teams were flying forward. It was the complete opposite.
You don't want to watch. You don't want to. If Serie A is going to be a Lazio Napoli, this is the reasons why you should never get to the point that you just clog the midfield with 20 players and then the two goalkeeper on the other side. It was everybody was trying to undo each other's on the midfield. There was nothing, no creativity, no shots on goal. The goalkeeper were barely called to
huge players missing, obviously. Cayuste, Kvara, Simeone, Meret, Oliveira,
Not an excuse, Marco. That's not an excuse.
Anguissa, Osimhen, and then also Zaccagni, Immobile from one side.
Yeah.
It hurts the quality. It's not an excuse, but it hurts the quality of a match.
Yeah, but also I think Napoli. Listen, it was a game that Napoli, by all means, would have signed for the 1 point versus Lazio, because it's a direct competitor for potential Champions League spot. And then ultimately, they have to start from somewhere. And guess what? The best way is to
not to lose.
How about not scoring? 8 scoreless in 14 games under Mazzarri.
Unfortunately, Mazzarri was the only one that took this job. It wasn't De Laurentiis' first pick. He's the only guy that was willing to take, because this is a dumpster fire. This is a dumpster fire. You have players attacking another player's agents. You have players not doing what they did last year.
That's ridiculous. As an agent yourself,
what
did you think about that situation where Kvara's agent's talking about Osimhen going to Saudi?
If as an agent, you do not talk about
somebody else.
You don't talk about another player, especially when you don't know. And even if you do know, it's not your.
So what's the logic behind doing that?
I don't know. I think it was more so to kind of attack Osimhen or deflect
Why?
any hate to Kvara. Because also people are saying, Kvara was a one-hit wonder. Kvara didn't do anything, stuff like that. So I don't know the exact reason, but from how I look at it as an outsider, is more so Kvara's agent deflecting any hate or animosity towards Kvara and pointing it all to Osimhen. Oh, he wants to jump ship. Oh, he's going to go anywhere. He doesn't care about the team. And then, obviously, Osimhen coming out and saying something like that, where you should be professional. Ultimately, you want to go somewhere, you can have that feeling and you can make it well known within the club, but the fans deserve more.
Yeah,
that's my point of view. I think a fan deserves more. Not to say that he's going to be less of a player when he comes back, but as a fan, you don't want to hear that your number 9, your top scorer, is already thinking about something else.
Come on, well, we are trying to make a little bit too much over this. The writing was on the wall already.
But so, still, usually I'm pretty okay with, like, I love a person, a player, a coach that speaks his mind. But this, it feels like, if you look at the context of the situation at Napoli, is it the smartest thing to say out in the open?
To be honest, Marco, to be honest with you, if De Laurentiis pulls the trigger in January, which is like another couple days.
No, he's not.
I will not be surprised.
No,
You're not going to do it?
No, never.
How many more days we have? 2 days?
February 1st.
February 1st.
It closes.
I gotta tell you
it's never
something.
gonna happen.
You never know.
He's still at AFCON too. Anyway, let's move it along. You guys want to go to Inter?
Yeah, let's go to
Want
Inter.
to talk about Inter Fiorentina?
Sure.
1-0 Inter win. The numbers that Inter have put up this season, we tweeted it before because I was just looking at them. I couldn't believe it. 17 wins out of 21 in the Serie A, 50 goals scored, 10 goals conceded, 13 clean sheets. Ridiculous numbers from Simone, Limone, Inzaghi. They have learned, I mean, if you look at the last 2 games, the final, the Supercoppa final, where they had to play against a team that just defended with as many numbers as you could get and you had to break them down, they had to play against that, and then they played against a Fiorentina side where they had to hit out on the counter, and you guys weren't that efficient, once again, with your goal scoring. No. You had other chances to score. I think about the ball from Thuram to Carlos Augusto. You had other opportunities, but either way, Lautaro, 19 goals, 19 games. Once again, you have a game in hand, and you're up by a point in the Serie A. How are you feeling?
I mean, as an Inter fan, you're happy of all the results, but ultimately, the game next week can change everything. So, you lose to Juventus and everything kind of gets thrown out in a sense, even though you have one more game and stuff, but it's just the mentality and the psyche of players.
But on the flip side, if you win that game,
on the flip
we're all going to be talking about how the race is pretty much decided.
But you still have a lot of games left because Juventus doesn't have to play any European competitions and Inter have Atletico Madrid which is also going to be
Okay, but if you're
energy and everything else.
Okay, if you're 1 point up right now, you play against Juventus,
Yeah,
you go
4
to 4
points,
points,
and
and
then
then you
you
have a
have
game in
3-7,
hand.
yes.
You go to 7 points,
But-
and you won the direct head-to-head against Juventus.
Yeah, but it's still
With a tough
way-
schedule, because you have a tough schedule.
I
Fiorentina
know,
was the
I know.
first of the tough
Oh, I
schedule.
know.
The Roma, Salernitana, Atletico, Juventus.
Yep.
All the games that you have coming up.
You're in a good position, but still at the same time, you never know what can happen towards the end of the season when legs are tired and you have different competitions that you're playing in. So ultimately, we're happy. It's a good showing, and I say 100 times, and I'll say it again. Inzaghi has matured as a coach. This Inter team can win in different ways.
Hold on.
me-
Antonio's foaming. For the people that
Yeah,
are
he's-
watching
he's
this angle,
ready to-
Antonio's
that's why I'm
foaming
laughing.
at the mouth
And I'm laughing.
to talk about the controversial decisions. What we like to do on this is let's talk about the game first. Let's talk about Inter. We
yeah.
talk about Fiorentina, and then we'll get to the call.
I haven't said
I
anything.
know. But he's laughing
So-
because he can tell with you.
So we've been able to win in different ways, whether it's having all the possession and trying to score, whether it's sitting back and taking our time to counterattack and picking our time, to find the goal. And I feel, with Lautaro Thuram, it's like a perfect combination where we had Lula with Conte, but Thuram is, I'm sorry to say, but
Luta now?
No, but he's a whole,
Lutu?
he's a whole nother player than Lukaku, technically. Thuram, technically, with the ball in his feet and his touch, it's a whole nother player than Lukaku.
Besides the one where he got sniped.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he was running too fast and he just happened to fall.
I like that.
He even posted it. Fair play to him.
Yeah, I mean,
he posted
listen,
a video of him getting
Yeah,
shot
because
from
you won
above.
the game 1-0, you're allowed to joke about it. But if you missed a goal there and Fiorentina happened to get back,
Would
it
have hit my
would've been
damn
tough.
bet if the guy could have just scored right there. Anyway, side note.
Yeah.
You,
So,
you
I
think-
wasn't happy about the game, by the way. I think Inter could have done better, but considering a tough game in Florence with a lot on the line, and the next game Juventus, it was important. The real teams, the winning teams, are the ones that know how to sacrifice and win.
These
And
are the
that's
games
what
that win
did.
you Scudetto. Two questions. Do you think Lautaro's better with Thuram than he was with Lukaku?
Yes, I do. And I also think, in part, it's because Lautaro has evolved his game. He's
Why?
been able... I just think because of experience. Now, he's at an age where he's been playing a certain amount of years in Italy, and you can just see every time he touches the ball, what he wants to do with it. And aside from the goals he scores, his ability to hold up the ball, his ability to turn, his ability to create is something that, he's become a real, the real number 10 and his rightful suitor for this Inter number
Speak
10.
about communication too. I love he's the complete opposite of what we were just talking about. I feel like every time he talks so highly of Inter. The chemistry, the love, the marriage between them two.
He wants to get paid.
It's strong. Well, no, if he wanted to get paid,
He hasn't
I think-
signed yet.
Okay, but he says that he's staying. He
All
says, I
right.
want to stay at Inter. I like his messaging. I think that that's one of the great things about him. He got his captain's armband. I think that he feels a responsibility. Another player that impressed me too, Pavard. I think Pavard has been really great. I expected him.
We spent the money.
Okay, which is good. You had to replace Skriniar, and I like that you went out for an experienced type of player.
Yep.
I expected him to be really good going forward, but defensively, he's actually is where he's impressed me more.
He's amazing. He's able to read a play. He's able to get, even when he's a step behind, he's always knows how to catch up because he's just another level of defender.
It's not as good as Skriniar, though. I don't think so.
I think he's been
I
better.
don't think so. I don't think so.
I think he's better because he's more agile with the modern game. But Skriniar had another physicality and is a different approach of kind of being that bully a lot of times, where Pavard has an elegance to his defending. It's like it's a skill. It's an art form. Whereas Skriniar was more of a brute, was able to get in there. He was going to clash you, battle you. By all means, a great
They
defender.
could have played both together. They could have played them too.
Easily.
Yeah.
But
It's not one or the
I
other.
think there was a decision
necessarily.
that had to be made, and they made it.
Yeah, he's the same
And
way. He wanted to leave.
He wanted to
He made
leave,
it clear.
and that's it.
How about Fiorentina's?
Now, let me reply
How
to
about-
the Inter first.
You have something on it?
Yeah, of course
You have
I
something
have
different
something
than
on
what we
Inter.
said.
Okay, first
not,
of
not
all,
the
No.
Controversy,
Whoa. Don't tell me what I gotta say.
Go.
What is this?
All right. First of all, Peter said the right way. Inzaghi mature. You mature too since you got married.
Yeah.
You don't seem to be a real tifoso. You're more of a manager in terms of the way you talk about your team and all the stuff. You're not going out. So despite all the numbers that your friend next door next to you was just how many clean sheets, all of the you know.
It's just the facts. It's just
the
it's
defense, and I mean
stats.
Lautaro and all that stuff. First of all, I congratulate you many weeks ago, and I said you guys won already the Campionato. I'm going to say congratulations again.
That's it.
Campionato is over.
2 stars.
Forget about 2 stars. Forget about the Juventus game. That's meaningless. Regardless, win, lose or tie, that's not going to change anything. But you know, despite all of those things and the greatness of your game and all the stuff, you don't need the extra help from the ref. You really don't. Okay, so it's, you know, just come clean and say it's true. Sometimes we get helped. You know, yesterday you got the help. The Lautaro's goal for me and for Grella, I agree 1000% with Grella. That wasn't a goal. Guy pushed him clearly. He just level a little guy like that. He put him on the floor. It like, hey, boom.
I don't think he did that, but
what do you mean you didn't? The guy couldn't even get close because he put his hands over there. It was not that. It was clearly boom.
In the penalty box, I've seen 10 times worse.
Okay,
10 times worse in the penalty box.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
He's holding on to him. No, you didn't see him hold on to him.
I think if we take away a goal for that kind of defending from Parisi, which is weak defending, for me, Lautaro doesn't do enough to take away a goal for that opportunity. I mean, yeah, he's got his hand here. It's a little bit of a push, but it's not enough because then technically you can't put your hands on anybody.
So then every time it's a penalty.
But it's not the first time. When Inter is missing all of those things on the field, and you got the extra man, which is the referees coming to the
I would also say the penalty that was given to Fiorentina.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? That was a clean penalty.
Sommer got the ball first.
Sommer
got the ball.
He did get the ball first.
You get the ball,
now,
and you got the head of the guy.
I understand that it's dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
It's dangerous, but always in the past, what I always remember is if the goalkeeper gets the ball first, he has the right to the ball. That's how I always.
Which is different than on the field because usually, like in a tackle, for example, I understand that it was dangerous,
and I understand why you can call it, but they called it. So to say that they got the favor, Fiorentina had the ball to score 1-1, and there's no favoritism to Inter.
Again, that's the point I was about to bring up.
Versus Verona, where everybody's talking about this, that, and left and right. Okay?
No, it's not about favoritism.
Penalty.
Listen.
And they missed it.
Listen, that was another thing that the Bastoni, you know.
But I'm saying
it is what it is.
But they gave the penalty afterwards.
So you think that it was a penalty?
It was a penalty, 100%.
Okay, but I'm saying you
not just me. It's more than 50% of the people watching the game. They said it's. I go to Villa Bat every morning. You know what I do in the morning, and everybody they say.
Who did you speak to over there?
Don't worry about it. I'm not
How many people did you speak to?
Oh, maybe 7 or 8.
Yeah.
So they said to me, clear penalty.
Yeah,
Juventus fans, even Inter fans. There were a couple Inter fans that said, "Hey, it was a penalty," but you know what?
A couple Inter fans?
Yeah, there were a couple Inter fans. I'm not going to make the name. I'll tell you after the podcast.
Okay,
I wanted to focus on the match, like I told you. We'll talk about refereeing decisions
Let's
after.
talk about the match.
No, we did Inter. Now we did, I guess, the situations. Yeah. Fiorentina has such a goal scoring problem because you said I don't agree with the favoritism, this and that. I always say I maintain my belief that the big teams are more favored than the small teams. Inter, Milan, Juventus, they will get more goals than the smaller teams.
Against AC Milan.
No.
Pulisic's handball. Do you remember that? Do you remember that?
For me, the big teams always get the benefit of the doubt over the small teams. And in the long term, it balances it out, right? There's mistakes on all sides. Anyway, Fiorentina have a true goal-scoring problem. If you want to start from the penalty kick, which, by the way, Sommer is the same goalkeeper that stopped Jorginho's little stutter, step, hopscotch, whatever the hell you want to call that penalty kick. And Nico Gonzalez, I saw a video that he goes this exact same way every time. Like, do they do any prep? Do they look at what the goalkeepers have done? Sommer did the exact same thing. Credit to him because he definitely does his homework to study how to stop that. It is so frustrating to watch Fiorentina sometimes because they can do amazing things. They do brilliant stuff. And then they don't have the capability of scoring enough goals from their strikers specifically. They rely on their midfielders. I brought the stat last week. 26 goals from midfielders, 10 from attackers, 10 from defenders. You could see that as a good thing because you're getting contributions everywhere. But 10 goals from playing a 4-3-3 and your 3 attackers is simply not good enough numbers. In their last 5 games, they scored 3 goals. I mean, come on. For a team that bombs forward like Italianos.
Nico Gonzalez, not him. I was not expecting him to miss a penalty.
But how do they have nobody contributing on goals. And I'm waiting for something to happen. I'm waiting for a nice player to come in that could really solve things, because this Fiorentina, they're already doing incredible, by the way, because to be in contention for Champions League, they are punching way above their weight. They're still in 3 competitions. They're in Coppa Italia. They're in Serie A for top 4, which this team should not be competing on paper for top 4 compared to what other teams spend. And they're in Conference League. So they're already punching above their weight. My disappointment comes because I'm like, with a little bit more, they could push for something special to make it a really special year, because it feels like they have all those elements. And I see Italiano being frustrated. I see him being frustrated in the media, where he's like, I'm not talking about the transfer market. I'm not talking about players. I'm not talking about X, Y, and Z, the contributions from Icone, the lack of a real goal scorer since Dusan Vlahovic was sold. They just don't have that guy that can solve a game to make them compete for Champions League.
Listen, Fiorentina, you said it. It's not a team that is expecting to be on the top 4. I think the quality of the coaching staff that they have and the midfield, I think, is second to no one in the midfield. I mean, the midfield of Fiorentina is a spectacular midfield. Okay, so having said that, the only problem that they have, it's one. They need one defender when you need a striker that they don't have. They keep, they're struggling with this, this new guy that they brought over there. It's not a forward. This guy here is.
You're saying Beltran?
Yeah, this is not. That guy is probably at the very most. It's una mezzala. I don't think it's a scorer.
Beltran, but you have to give the benefit of the doubt that it's his first year. So there's a little bit of a growing pain. The issue is, I think, that they keep on going after these guys that are not sure things. That's what I see. And they don't want to hit the 25-30 million range, and they go for a lot of the players in the 10 to 15 million range, where those guys are not going to decide a game for you. So you rather spend on that one than spend 10 and 15 on the 3-4. Now, it's easier said than done, because ultimately,
who wants to go to Florence?
No, I mean, first off, Florence is a beautiful city.
Yeah, no, but money talks. I mean, who wants to go to Florence?
Okay, but for example, Retegui. Okay, I'm not saying he's a sure product, but the guy scores a lot of goals with not a lot of chances. I think he would actually thrive in this Fiorentina
side.
It's
the first year that
and he went to Genoa.
It's the first year. Did the Fiorentina made a move for Retegui as well?
Genoa was the one who got him. So it can't just be. You can't say Florence is not.
I was hoping AC Milan made a move for the kid. After having seen him in national team, the way he played for the national team, I said this kid is for sure is going to be a great player.
Even Retegui that we saw in the Italian national team, we all had our doubts about him. He's scoring because he's a 9. He is a pure 9 in the sense that he finds the goal. But Nzola scored for Spezia. He can't find the net.
That guy's been really
he can't find the net. So there is also disappointments on not just evaluation of a player, but they don't turn around and they feel too much pressure. Fiorentina is not easy to, it's not an easy team to play for.
People don't realize that at all.
They turn on
People
you.
don't realize how Fiorentina fans see
the fans. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
The fans are extremely demanding.
I know.
It's a beautiful piazza, but it's a demanding one as well. They live football to the max. It's the only team in the region. It's even said in their song, right? So
Joe and Rocco, they have their work cut out for themselves because, like you said, una piazza che richiede molto. So if you're going to play over there, you have to produce. And
there needs to be a balance of the opinion, because they are doing amazing, all things considered. But at the same moment, what I'm thinking is, like, Italiano's doing so well with what he's got. They even have a goalkeeper that makes a difference. Terracciano's been amazing. Yeah. I had always doubts about their defense, but defensively, defensively, it's not that big of a deal. You said it right. The midfield, Artur has been amazing. He didn't have a good game against Inter, but it really is up top with Icone and Nzola.
Is one of the top
Bonaventura
players.
can't save them every single
He
match.
tried. He went close, and in the summer made it the save.
They say they're trying to get Gudmundsson, but they don't want to hit the 25-30 million mark for a player like Gudmundsson. Gudmundsson is amazing.
Because also the market now, once a striker scores 10 to 15 goals,
the price goes up.
The price is up. So either you're able to identify the player and take him, but then what happens is what's going on with Beltran. I think Beltran will be a good striker.
Yeah, I agree.
For the Fiorentina and for the league, but you have to anticipate by spending less on a player that's not ready necessarily.
So you're saying keep him one more year?
No, you're still going to keep him. I'm just saying that as far as the expectations for the fans and the expectations for the team does not want to spend more than what they make, or are not looking to spend over that 20 million range. We even seen it, now in the recent transfer market conversation with different players. Nobody has been talked about over 20. Genoa went on and got a player from Marseille, and there's on a loan, and there's an option to buy at 25 million. I don't think Fiorentina would have done the same thing for that player. So
listen, Prade is one of the smarter managers that they have over there.
I'm not arguing anything. I'm just saying the striker position for a good striker costs money. That's the unfortunate part. So and it's anybody. You go to Juventus, they spend top dollar for Vlahovic.
How much would be Icardi to come back? Would cost Icardi to?
That's an interesting proposal.
Icardi could be a tailor made for.
But his salary
for a
is
Fiorentina.
High. His salary is high. But that's what I'm trying to say. So you have to do that, kind of evaluation of what you want and what you want to get out of a player and spend rate. Also, for me, this is the year to push for Champions League. You're not going to have that next year.
How do you know that?
Well, there's a lot of things that could change within the squad. Number one, the players that might not stay, and number two, the biggest thing is for me, Vincenzo Italiano.
Yeah.
Look how many moves are happening in Europe with Klopp leaving, Xavi leaving, maybe Thiago Motta is going to go there, De Zerbi goes one place. Once one pillar falls, it could be a domino effect of.
It's going to be.
Pioli's not going to be the coach anymore of Milan after this year.
How do you know that?
You want to make a bet?
I'll bet you. They're not gonna kick him
next
out.
year. He'll be there.
He's gonna stay there.
Yeah.
What do you want to bet?
I don't know.
We'll bet at dinner.
There you go.
I want to be invited.
You want to be invited? Okay. What if he leaves? So I get 2 dinners.
Yes.
What if he stays? We'll get 2 dinners. Okay. That's fine. That's fair.
Anyway, you talked about Dusan Vlahovic. Let's talk about Juventus.
Yep.
1-1 against Empoli. A match that was really. I don't like to put it on.
Oh, you don't like that?
On one player.
I wanted Juventus to win, and the main reasons why. Not because I like Juventus.
Early on into the game, Arek Milik, which I wasn't expecting him to play. I figured Yildiz would start. He plays Milik, and you can't just blame one player. But he gets the red card. It was clearly a red card, and it changes the match. You're going up against an Empoli that's fighting for their life. You're playing in Torino. You expected something. It wasn't a great game from Juventus either. It wasn't their best match. Lucky thing is Dusan Vlahovic pulled up big time once again. He's been amazing in January. 6 goals. I saw a stat that only for Juventus, the only player that has more goals in a January is Ronaldo. So he's just been hitting a form that's been special. And when you get goals from strikers, it starts to solve a lot of problems, like you were saying. But for Juventus, that is trying to hit the strides of getting into Scudetto race, which they are in the Scudetto race. These are the games that you can't slip up. These are the moments where Inter don't do this. Inter don't slip up in those moments, especially with the 2 games in hand that they had at that time. You needed to get a win in this match, but it wasn't a great performance at home from you.
Listen, this is just to summarize exactly, just to add to what Marco just said right now. You expect Juventus to win a game like that. I said, Yildiz didn't even start the game. I said, this is what I questioned the intelligence of Allegri. It's supposed to be one of your smartest assets that you have on your team right now, and you starting a game. What kind of a signal is he trying to send?
Milik is an experexperienced player. It's not crazy to start Milik.
Why are you changing something that has been working to the perfection?
Anton, you don't know what goes on in training.
What is going on?
I'm just saying.
You're telling me that Yildiz has been slacking off.
He was just
training?
playing a lot.
I'm just saying you don't know what goes on in training. The coach evaluates week to week. He has his idea, and he's going to try to rest. He's going to try to see energy levels.
You need to balance out who you're going to play too.
There's a lot of things that you look into.
It's easy to say now. It's easy to say afterwards. All right, it's Milik's fault. He played Milik. I like to play Milik, and he got a red card.
No, I'm not saying it's Milik's fault. I'm not saying that. But you have a team that has been working. Milik's is pretty much coming in every game, 20 minutes here. That's what I'm saying.
I know. I get it. But also at the same time, you don't know everything. So there could be a reason. There could not have been. Maybe he dreamt of something. Then at that point, yes, Allegri's fault. Why did you put Milik? But ultimately, the players, you can't be thinking, oh, I put this guy, now he got a red card, it's all my fault. Or things happen during the game. The game evolves. Maybe Yildiz would have gotten the red card. Who knows? But ultimately, when you get a red card, Juventus were up 1-0. I thought that's it. They were going to win that game.
So he said, I wanted to find the exact quote. He was saying that Yildiz was a little bit relaxed Yildiz was a little bit relaxed. And
During what? During training?
Yeah. I guess he also said that he would, if he had to go back to the day before, he would still play Milik. So it wasn't an idea of, all right, I'm going to change because of this. He had a clear idea of what he wanted to do, and he played Milik instead. It's also, teams have won in 10 men before. You know, it's not crazy that a team wins in 10 men. Also for Empoli, I like that Baldanzi got back to going. He's another player that I feel like could go to a bigger team. He's got good talent. I know he always had a problem with minutes. Like, he can never finish a game. He's always subbed out super early. But I see technique. I see talent within him, but he's not playing at Empoli.
Is he going to Rome? I thought that was...
Not yet.
Not yet? I thought it was something...
The rumors were
there was rumors about him going to Roma. But Baldanzi, his problem is in this modern game, he gets oftentimes overlooked. But for me, last year especially, he was one of the catalysts for this. I
like him a lot.
Team. But we also look at, not to jump onto another subject, but Pafundi, Udinese.
You're right.
He was unbelievable for Italy,
all of a sudden,
the U20s, and they don't even give him the chance to play. And he's disappeared. He went to Switzerland. He's going to play in Switzerland, similar to what Gnonto did. And before that,
Gnonto. I forgot about him now.
Federico Di Marco, before getting his time with Inter, he went to Sion in Switzerland.
I remember.
Okay. And he had to go to Parma, Hellas Verona, and be able to make that jump into Inter. So there's always that issue with Italy.
We have a bunch of young and talented players.
I never saw too much. I mean, Mancini made a big deal about him. Oh, he's the first player that I call up in my national team. But then he never even played him. Then he sat him on the bench for a long time.
But I'm saying Italy U20, he was one of the better players. Him and Baldanzi also.
Calafiori.
So
I like the kid.
But obviously Udinese right now, they're not struggling, but they're in a relegation battle. So it's not always easy to play the younger players.
Yeah, I get that. Last topic. Today, Roma won. De Rossi, 2 wins in his first 2 matches. It was tricky against Salernitana, but we've seen Salernitana pull upsets. You know a lot about that. A lot of big teams know about that, especially with Candreva. Castanos has some talent, by the way, who was subbed into the match.
Right?
He's from Cyprus.
Cyprus.
Yeah. He's got a calcio shirt. Fun fact, by the way. Yeah, he followed us a long time ago. We met him when he was in New York, when he was playing for Juventus. Yeah, that's right. He came from the youth team. He's got great technique. Either way, there was some tough moments of watching Roma's match against Salernitana. A lot of passes going backwards. They were obviously dominating in possession, but there is that little lack of going forward, which I think De Rossi will have the growing pains of. But I mean, what else can you expect? I mean, the fact that you get 2 wins in your first 2 matches for Roma, he was also set up for this. I mean, management knew that they were sacking Mourinho at the toughest part of the schedule so that De Rossi could have.
I'm happy for De Rossi. I'm happy. This is extremely happy for him. The only thing that is still on my head, and all of those soft call that the referees and the VAR, they have to make, whether it's a penalty, whether it's not a penalty. What's his name? He got pulled out. Candreva got pulled down into the box, and Di Bello, the usual guy, is the one deciding whether to give the penalty or to deny the penalty to Salernitana. Salernitana would have loved to get that penalty.
It wasn't a penalty.
It was not a penalty. Well, it was not a penalty. It's been given. A lot of those penalties, they've been given for a lot less.
You like De Rossi, and now you wanted the penalty.
No. What I'm saying is...
Because he likes Inzaghi more.
Well, the rules...
Who do you like more? People Inzaghi or De Rossi?
I like both.
No, if you had to choose one.
Inzaghi, of course. So Super Pippo, it's got a special spot, sweet spot in my heart. So you're an AC Milan. You're a legend. Super Pippo is a legend for AC Milan. The guy has won just about everything.
How funny is it how great he was as a player compared to Simone Inzaghi's career, and now it's completely inverted. Simone Inzaghi is the top coach, and Pippo Inzaghi is the guy that's fighting relegation.
It is what it is, but
that's a funny way of life balancing itself out, right?
If Super Pippo would have been on the field, he would have probably add to the... All right. But Simone Inzaghi was not such a great player. He was okay. I saw him playing Lazio, scoring on and off, but Super Pippo was...
They say he should have had a better career than he did. Like, he was more talented than his career showed.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of disagree with that. It was just...
I think his brother said that.
Yeah. No. I think it was an average forward.
Either way, you never talked about Mourinho. We obviously spoke about his sacking. De Rossi, any thoughts?
So Mourinho, he unfortunately, is in the past, I would say, his coaching methods, his style. And we saw a different Mourinho with this Roma team. He had success bringing them to 2 straight European finals. That's never been done before. The fans obviously love him. He's going to remain a legend within Rome, and he's a legend as a coach. But I saw a different Mourinho than what we've seen in the past. How many times he's name called and brought attention to players, where he
always did that.
No, but he oftentimes deflected a lot of times.
He used to always call out guys.
Yeah, but not.
He usually found
not
like one enemy, and
one enemy, but not this whole team. This guy, he's with this Roma team.
Did he ever have as bad of a team as he had now?
So definitely, this was a challenge for him, and he was able to do what he did with the Conference League final and Europa League final, winning the Conference League. But what I look at right now is Mourinho, is a coach that can still win things, and ultimately that's his goal. It's that old school mentality where it's win at all costs, no matter how you play, and just win the game, win the trophy. That's what counts. And I feel like nowadays, if you look at even the smallest teams, they're playing their style of football. They're going to try to challenge you. They're not going to sit back and just wait for you to score. So in this modern game where we see a lot of the top teams playing a certain style and have a real identity, the fact that Roma, are not able to have an identity or win by 1-0 and then even lose versus the top teams, he lost a little bit of that energy. And I think ultimately what it came down to was presidency and the ownership having an issue with Mourinho, his personality and other things.
Communication, probably.
Yeah, there was probably a lot of things. And before him, let's not forget, Thiago Pinto, who was the sporting director.
He's a disaster.
But he left. He said he was leaving and he left. So there was a lot of changes. It was
Who brought Thiago Pinto to begin with? It was him, right?
No, he came before. Oh, no, actually, no. He came after.
But I mean, Mourinho's not going to choose a sporting director. But they're Portuguese.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to imply. So maybe,
Thiago Pinto was not cut out for this job. He had a hard task because Monchi, I think, left them with a complete disaster. They had like 60, 70 players on their roster. Yeah. So it takes time to be able to work through that. But I almost think you need a super experienced sporting director to be able to deal with that problems, and you need time and you need to manage expectations. But I mean, we've given our opinion. Do you think that this is the last we'll see of Jose at a top European level?
No. I think his personality, he's going to want to come back. I think
he's going to coach Portugal.
The next step probably is a national team.
Yeah. I would have loved for him to go to Portugal.
I wouldn't be surprised that he goes back to a top European team.
Like what?
I think he goes back into the Premier League. I'm not saying with Chelsea.
Would you take him at Inter one more time if Simone?
I think it's past that. It's past that already, because just the style of play, what you see now, that you can win and play good football. No, I don't think a lot of the top teams are going to look to just have the team that wins. They want also a certain style because you're also increasing value in the players.
If we think about some of the guys that left, like Xavi at Barcelona and Klopp at Liverpool, that they announced that they're going to leave, is there any Italian coaches we could see fitting these? Obviously, Xabi Alonso is very heavily linked with the Liverpool move. Barcelona is still pretty much up in the air, but De Zerbi's name has been rumored with a few of them. Thiago Motta's name has been rumored with a few of them. Is there anything that we see fit that we should say, all right, you should go, this coach should go there?
I can see Thiago Motta in Barcelona. Because he was an ex-Barca player, so he grew up there. He knows the team and the environment, and his mentality and his style of play has been really, really interesting to see. And it's all about spaces, so it's kind of a rendition of Cruyff's method, right? The Dutch method of total football, where he has his different players having obviously the spacing and being able to identify space and attack the space, whether you're a center back, left back.
It's like striker. What Luciano Spalletti was saying at Napoli. So it's about spacing, not formation.
So it's very interesting it would be interesting to see Thiago Motta there. Will he go? I'm not sure, because also might be a tall task to have a coach at Bologna go to a Barcelona.
But he's got the character to do it. I feel like when you were a top player, I mean, there's so many. The best player in the world, Maradona, couldn't be a good coach. So I'm not saying that, but because he has the aspect where he's been a really great coach, he started from the bottom, he built his way up, and he's got the character to know how to handle big players. For me, that's a really good recipe.
For who? For Thiago Motta?
For him to coach a top team,
Barcelona.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying Barcelona necessarily, but I
No.
don't think he'll be scared to. I don't think it'll be too big of a task. I though feel like De Zerbi would fit Barca a lot better. Might sound crazy, but I feel like they love that kind of style. They love that flair. Guardiola has named him as his heir. There's rumors if he would take over Manchester City one day. I feel like De Zerbi fits a little bit more, maybe the old school type of Barca mixed with the young flair.
That's true.
Listen, De Zerbi and Thiago Motta, those are the only two players, the only two coaches that I can see at AC Milan if they decided to sack Pioli, which is more than 50% chance that it's going to stay.
I think Palladino also
50% is not that
this
good.
year hasn't been so great.
He also doesn't have a striker.
But Palladino, the way that Monza has played in the past
He's not
few
going to
years,
get. He's going to get the job
might
of
get Bologna.
Bologna.
Fiorentina.
When like Italiano, he's going to get that bump up to like the 6th place team, 5th place team. He's not going to get the bump.
And listen,
to
I
the
think
first.
Italiano with better players
Oh my gosh, I agree.
is Liverpool-esque.
Yeah,
So-
I agree.
And watch Gilardino one more year. Give Gilardino one more
too.
year. One more year
Gilardino's a
to
good
coach Genova. I think Gilardino is going to be one of the top 10 in all Europe.
I think he'll look at the project of Genoa. I mean, they are spending money. If they don't, then he could also take one of those jobs like a Bologna, like a
I can see
like a
Gilardino either
Fiorentina.
coming AC Milan. He played for AC Milan. I think it's
For you guys, I don't know. I have a weird feeling about De Zerbi or Thiago Motta for you.
Motta. I can see him coming to
Motta, I
AC
would
Milan.
love to see him at
And
Milan.
Motta
He has
bringing
an Inter
Zirkzee with
history.
him. And Motta
Who
bringing
cares? Conte has a
and Motta
history with
bringing
Juventus.
Zirkzee with him.
But there was no bad blood. With Conte, with Juve,
Conte,
there
there was bad blood.
Yeah, Agnelli.
Okay, but he...
It's over. Agnelli's not there anymore. Even though there is a rumor he wants to come back.
It's. I mean, obviously
never
Mihailovic
expected
too,
it.
coach Milan. I'm not saying it's
No,
impossible.
I don't want Conte at AC Milan. I mean, I can.
do you guys know the two coaches that have coached Milan, Inter, and Juventus? There's two coaches.
Two coaches?
Well, Pioli is one.
No,
he
he
didn't
didn't
coach
coach
Juventus.
Juve.
Hold on, let me
No,
think.
Juventus. Oh,
I only say this because I know because we looked it up.
Allegri?
For a post.
No.
No.
Hold on,
Allegri
let me-
coach AC Milan
Not
and
Inter.
Juventus.
Not
Not
Inter.
Inter.
Yeah,
Oh,
hold on.
Inter.
So let me
Inter.
think. Ancelotti never coached with Inter.
Zaccheroni.
In the comments, Zaccheroni.
Is
Bravo.
one.
that's
Bravo.
He won with AC Milan.
Yeah, then we made 4th place with Inter.
He was so
Okay,
bad in
Zaccheroni.
Juventus.
Yeah,
2010. 2010 Zaccheroni.
Lippi was-
Capello.
No. I
Lippi
thought
was
Capello
Inter
too for a
Juve.
second.
I don't know if he ever did Milan. No.
Keep going. Keep going further back.
Oh, Trapattoni.
Yeah, bravo.
Oh,
Bravo.
Super trap.
I believe it's only 2. That's what we were just talking about in our group chat.
Patoni would be the third one.
The third one could be.
No, there's only 2.
2, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Trapattoni. Oh, wow.
Trapp, I remember Trapp.
No, we were saying for the rumor, there was a crazy rumor about Conte going to Milan.
Yeah.
So that's why we were
He would've
talking
been
about
the
it.
third.
Monblano is saying that Conte is going to go to Milan. I just saw it on Twitter. I don't know if Monblano actually said it.
I don't think will be a good fit for AC Milan because AC Milan has got a lot of people that they do stats on the top of there, and I think Conte doesn't go really.
Conte's got the best stats.
No, Conte doesn't have really look at stats when it comes down to getting a player. Conte said, "Hey, I want that guy, and I want it now. And if you don't give it to him, for him, it's the open door to take the money and leave."
Guys, thank you for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Ciao ragazzi. Like, subscribe.
that was it.
and we'll see you
Okay.
soon.